At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Good morning, everyone. Well, here is what I am tracking. We're going to start the show just so you know we have a storm system coming our way. And here's what I'm tracking here for tonight through early next week, and quite honestly, possibly even going through a good portion, if not all of next week. We got off and on rain, moderate to heavy rain at times. This is not going to be the atmospheric river event that we saw a couple of weeks ago. This is not what we're talking about. We're not going to be looking at widespread rain for a long period of time. We're going to be looking at spurts of heavy rain, but not for an entire day. Off and on showers, again, heavy rain at times. There's also going to be periods of heavy snow with possible I-5 delays several times during these storm systems passing through. Snow levels on average over the next week or so will be about 3,000 to 4,500 feet. A lot of you have been asking, are we going to see valley snow? When I say valley, Sacramento Valley. I don't see it. Redding, no. City of Shasta Lake, no. I don't see it at this point. I'll keep watching, but no, I'm not seeing it. Gusty, coastal, and mountain winds. We've also got some pretty strong winds making their way to the forecast as well. So yeah, there is a lot to unpack here. We're going to be going into a quick cast here in just a bit, and of course a deeper dive forecast coming up a little bit later. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? Some of the regulars checking in, like Ruth, Stephen Koch saying from Durham. Good morning. It's about 31 degrees there, 30.09. Let's check in with some of you, see how you're doing. I've got one. We don't have a whole lot of people typically that watch live from YouTube, but we've got someone here who's actually commenting at least. Maybe you're watching on YouTube, you just don't comment. There you can see this is no complaints. That's what we got. I think, yeah, no complaints. No complaints about that rain that's heading our way, about the snow that's heading our way as well. Deborah Ann is saying warmer than yesterday by about 4 degrees. And you know why, Deborah? And you know why everybody else, why it might be warmer where you are? It's because we've got more cloud cover out there this morning. Think of the clouds as a blanket, and it keeps us warm, or at least keeps us warmer, not necessarily warm. Let's see here. We have got Rowdy Kelly saying, good morning. The winds woke me up here in Fortuna last night and calm now. And the winds will probably be picking back up again here later this afternoon, by the way. Let's see here. We've got, Stephen Koch saying, good morning. It's 30.9 degrees, so about 31 degrees in Durham. And then I've got Stephen. Oh, Stephen's asking an interesting question. Why does the temperature drop just before sunrise? And I'll tell you why. Because as the sun sets, and just without all these other things that can take into account, like the clouds and the winds and all that, but think of a calm, clear night, okay? Once the sun sets, the temperatures start to drop because the sun is no longer able to heat the surface. The longer we have these nights without sunshine, right, as we obviously don't see at night with sunshine, but the longer the sun is down, the longer the atmosphere has time and the surface has time to cool. So as long as the sun is not out, the temperatures are, for the most part, able to drop. Again, there are a lot of other factors that can, deter that. But just from a textbook standpoint, once the sun comes up, right before the sun comes up, that is typically going to be the coolest time of the day. Because once the sun comes up, it starts heating the surface and temperatures start to increase. So that's why Stephen is asking why the temperature dropped just before sunrise. I hope I was able to explain that. Again, there's a lot of circumstances that can change that, but that's the textbook. Good morning from, well, some non-regulars, Sandra. We've also got good morning from Kimberly. We've got our regular, Curtis Brown, saying, good morning, Mike and everyone, about 34 degrees this morning in Red Bluff. Ready for some rain. I know I am. I think a lot of you are probably ready for some rain. Should be a good day for it if you are looking for that rain. Hey, by the way, I wanted to share this with you as well. I had some fun last night. So as you know, one of my sponsors, in fact, of course, sponsors the NorCal Ag Report is Lassen County Nursery. Of course, the owner is Kenny Elwood. So he's got Lassen County Nursery, and kind of one of his newer ventures is Elwood Beef. So we had a chance. He invited us, myself and my family, to go to his Christmas party. And I think it was mainly for Lassen County Nursery, but there were other people there with the beef industry as well. So check this out. He rented out, or he had the Garden of Lights for his staff. And he invited me. It was such an honor to be able to be there. So much fun. So of course, there's your iconic picture, right? At the Garden of Lights. This is one that my wife took of us. Thanks for the invite, Kenny. It was a lot of fun. We'll take a look at this. This is Kenny and I hanging out on the Sundial Bridge. Kenny was dressed up as the Grinch. Of course, his family was too. His wife and the kiddos were also dressed up as Grinch. He was having a lot of fun. And just hanging out. It's always fun talking with Kenny. He's always fun to talk with. And this is us at the lights. And it was really cool. They had hats with LCN. You know what that means, of course, Lassen County Nursery. So we were sporting our hats, took a picture. And there it is, representing. So thanks again, Kenny, for the invite. Take a look. These are the hats right here. I'm not going to wear it, but pretty cool. This actually, these hats made me think, I need to have some beanies made with Weather NorCal on it. Sounds like a good idea, but that was fun. I'm not going to wear it now. I don't want to mess up the beautiful hair. right. But so thanks again, Kenny. Had such a great time. It was so much fun. And it was really neat to be out there at the Tree of Lights without the huge crowd. We were just kind of commenting about how it was really nice to be able to walk through the Tree of Lights and just enjoy it. And it was beautiful. Loved it. It was a little chilly, but then that's why we were wearing the beanies. So it was kind of cool that he had the beanies there for us. So there you go. We got a couple other people checking in this morning. We have got, this is great. I love it. Lots of great activity out there this morning. Good morning from Crescent City. No rain yet. Thank you, Stephen. Yeah, I don't expect to see any rain there just yet, but of course that will change. We've got Kelly Strauss. Some of the non-regulars checking in saying, hi, hello, how are you? Nice to see you this morning. We got Krista. She kind of checks in every once in a while. Last day to get the leaves under control before the rain, and absolutely, that's the thing. If you have anything you need to do before the rain gets here, do it today, especially this morning. James is saying, go Grinch. Oh, Ryan Purcell, how you doing? My brother-in-law there. Good morning from Dunsmuir. Not sure of the temp, but cold for ski park. Oh yeah, that's right, it's opening day. So Ryan, are you going? Are you and the kiddo going? We're not going to go. We're going to go hopefully this weekend. Aiden's super excited. He's got his new board. Gave him his Christmas present a little early this year. But it's going to be a good opening day because you're going to be dry for the opening day of the ski park. But then by tonight, more snow for the ski park with these series of storms coming on in here. So yeah, good to see you, Ryan. Hope everything's going okay for you. Hopefully we'll see you out there on the slopes this year. Look forward to kind of catching up, see how it's going. And should be fun. Jaden, is he a senior this year? I thought he graduated last year. I don't know. These kids are just growing up so fast, aren't they? Let's see here. I think that's going to do it. Tell you what, let's get to the forecast because some of you do like to kind of check in, get the forecast for the day, and then head on out in case you're in a bit of a hurry. So what do you say we get to Krueger's Quickcast? Now, for those of you that are new to the channel, do know that I've started Krueger's Quickcast because one of the things that I'm known for is I do a very extended, long forecast. I go to detail. I go into a lot more detail than you get pretty much anywhere else. And that's the beauty of what I do. I can do that. I don't have anybody to tell me I can't. But I do also recognize the fact that some of you may not have time to watch a 15 to 20 minute forecast. So that's where Krueger's Quickcast comes into play. We just kind of talk about what's going on for the next 24 hours or so, and we get you through the day, and that's kind of how that works. So what do you say we get to Krueger's Quickcast? We're going to go ahead, and you know what? I didn't update the current temperatures. Isn't that fun? So let's get out of there, but it's cold. If I look at the current temperatures, let's see here, just in some areas here. Let's see here. I know I can do that, so I can kind of explain some of those temperatures to you. Climate. No, that's not what I wanted. You know, I never find what I'm looking for because I have so many bookmarks, but especially when I'm live because it's like, all right, you know, I'm in a hurry, and when you're in a hurry, you're just, your mind panics. You're like, I can't find. So then you see it. It's probably in your face. There we go. I found it. Took me longer than it should have, but it, you know, it happens. So let's see if I can see some of the temperatures that are going on across the region there. Of course, it's taking forever to load up. Really? Come on, seriously? I'm trying to get the air temperature. Let me try. Let's just do the air temperature. There we go. All right, yeah, so as I expected, temperatures are in the low to mid-30s here for the valley. We've got some, you know what, not as cold in the mountains this morning, especially to the east. We got 20s and 30s there. Looks like El Turris is about 23 this morning, and you can see out towards, looks like Mount Shasta is about, Mount Shasta City is pretty mild at 42. Let's see near Dunsmuir, where my brother-in-law is. Looks like it's about 29 degrees there, so pretty chilly. Just depends on where you are, what's going on there. But visibility-wise, we are seeing some patchy fog in some areas here. Let's take a look at the Elk Country, just north of Trinidad. Now, the clouds are certainly in place. We're going to be looking at those clouds here. Let's take a look at, let me get the sunrise cam out at the, you really can't see it too clearly here. We'll go ahead and take in the links here. There's a look at Crescent City, Harbor District. And we're seeing some of the clouds out there this morning, but no rain just yet. Didn't even bother really show the radar because, well, the radar is going to show pretty much dry conditions. There are a few showers trying to develop just north and west of the coast, but for now, things are fairly dry. All right, let's get you out the door this morning. Those temperatures are going to be not as cold. Again, we got the clouds in place, so as a result, we're not in the teens and low 20s that we saw yesterday for the mountains. We were more like the mid to upper 20s, even some low 30s. In the valley, still chilly, but we are starting to see some of those clouds begin to move in there as well. All right, let's go ahead and take a look now at the satellite image here. And so you can kind of see how active it is over the Pacific. That first batch of clouds moving in has no rain associated with it. That's kind of just setting the stage for the rain that's associated with that storm. That's, you can see it. See that batch of clouds just off the coast? That's what's heading our way, and we'll be here this afternoon for the coast, this late afternoon, evening for the valley. So here's the storm timeline. For your Thursday, it's going to be a minor impact because the rain and snow kicks in tonight, really, into early Thursday morning. So I expect tonight into tomorrow morning some possible I-5 delays, even say around the Mount Shasta City area, Weed, for example. That, again, the heaviest impact will be tonight and early tomorrow morning. By Thursday afternoon, just some scattered showers and scattered snow flurries as well. Friday, I'm calling it a moderate impact because we've got rain and snow, which will be heavy at times with possible I-5 delays. We've got heavy rain and snow at times on Saturday. And the reason I'm calling Saturday a higher impact is because as we go into Friday, the second storm system coming in Friday into Saturday, it's going to be a slower moving storm. So it's going to have a bigger impact. More rain, more snow, and of course, more chain requirements, even on I-5, most likely around. And I say that you can't forecast chain requirements. It's really hard to do that because it all has to do with how many accidents there are, how many people have to clear off the road. Caltrans can usually stay ahead of the game, even during the big snowstorms. But you know why the highways close and why there are delays because of that? Is because people aren't responsible and they drive, they big rigs, jackknife, the works, right? And the reason they've got to close it is because they're blocking the highway, and they've got to clear out the highway before they can let traffic through again. So that's the reason why. And then it looks like by Sunday, we'll get a break, and it'll be a low impact. We have a winter weather advisory. The air is in purple. These colors, it'll turn into pink and some blues in there. The snow. This is just basically bottom line. Heavy snow is in the forecast. So let's take a look at Futurecast. And so again, as I was saying, if you have any plans here today, you're fine through at least midday. So for the coast, you're going to start to see showers increasing through the afternoon. By 5 p.m., most of it is to the north and west of the valley. So even Siskiyou County is starting to see some showers by 5 p.m. It's tonight. You see that? Look at the snow on I-5 near Mount Shasta. But look at Highway 299 west of I-5. Buckhorn Summit there. If you look closely, and I'm going to see if I can put my cursor there. If you look closely, there it is. There, right there, that is Buckhorn Summit. Looks like we're seeing a little bit of snow there. That's tonight. So yeah, maybe some chain requirements on Buckhorn Summit. There's Highway 36 to the south, and you can see there are going to be plenty of chain requirements east of I-5 as well. That's what we're looking at here. In fact, let's take a look at the road conditions. This is the forecast road conditions. Not chain requirements, just road conditions. And the pink, the red over, you can see you're out on I-5 near Mount Shasta. That's essentially just going to be snow. And that's going to be the case you're going into tomorrow morning. If you look at Buckhorn Summit, I'll take the cursor there. So based on the forecast road conditions, I don't see any rain or snow on there. But again, I do think that could be a possibility. So check the road conditions before you head out. And then, of course, you can see east of I-5, there are going to be lots of chain requirements. By the way, as I mentioned, you should always check the latest road conditions before heading out. And I'm going to show you how you can do that. I am going to go to weathernorcal.com, and I'm going to scroll down. You see where it says road conditions right here? Click on that. Now, here's the beauty of it. It's a one-stop shop, folks. There's a look at, you click on that, that'll give you the chain requirements in the area. And this is a one-stop shop. I've taken all of the popular cameras in the area. There's I-5, 89, 97. You take your pick across Northern California. I've got the more popular cameras, and you can take a quick glance what the roads are looking like all across California. Again, that's at weathernorcal.com. I'm going to back it up here. You see there's the top of the page. You can go to more here. You can see where it says road conditions. You can go there, or you can scroll down and click on the road conditions here. So that's a great resource to check that out. All right, let's go and take a look at the wind advisory for tonight. South winds at 25, 35 miles per hour, gusts up to 55 miles per hour. The winds right now are not a problem, but later on today, look at this. Even though there's no wind advisory for central Siskiyou County, look at noon. It's gusty winds there for the Shasta Valley, and that continues in this afternoon. And tonight the winds get even stronger. And look at the winds for the coast. Winds are picking up there with the advancing storm system. All right, so there still is a beach hazard statement. It was supposed to expire this morning. It has been extended until noon today. What is a beach hazard statement? Well, a lot of times you can get these rushes of water without really knowing it. They're called sneaker waves, and those can be very dangerous. So just be aware of that if you're going to be on the beach today. All right, speaking of today, temperatures are going to be the mid-50s and dry, but partly to mostly cloudy skies for the valley eastward. Later this afternoon and evening, Siskiyou County westward, Trinity County, Del Norte, Humboldt counties, all seeing showers by this afternoon, but dry for everyone through the morning hours. Here's a look at your 7-day outlook. In the deeper dive forecast, we're going to talk about the timing of all this. But you see that? This is a 7-day forecast of a typical cool and unsettled weather pattern over Northern California. That's the case for the valley. That's the case for the coast, inland, and for Trinity County, with the off and on showers. Snow levels on average for Trinity County, 3,000 to 3,500 feet. It's going to kind of go up and down. It's going to vary throughout the next 7 days. For Siskiyou County, about 3,500 feet on average. For Modoc County, around 4,000 feet on average. And for the Eastern Mountains, Lassen County, Plumas County, for example, around 4,500 feet on average. All right, so that's what we're looking at here. Take a look at some of the cameras out there. And you can see, of course, looking at Lake Oroville this morning, the clouds are moving on in. We're starting to see those clouds. And you can see still fairly calm winds for the lake there at Lake Oroville, North Forebay. And then, of course, we can see Main Street, Chico. This is Highway 32. Of course, looks like traffic is flowing smoothly there. Looks good. All right, Highway 99 at Neal Road, lots of traffic this morning, but of course that's pretty typical. Pretty busy highway there on especially these weekday mornings. There's Sundial Bridge Drive on Highway 44, or Highway 44 at Sundial Bridge Drive. Looks like traffic is flowing smoothly there. Oh, this is nice. I had to share this. So Dan Gribby, I believe is how I'd say that name, was flying west from Susanville. Oh, man. Look. See, this is why I love it here, folks. I was so glad that I was able to land myself here in Northern California and, of course, end up doing this. I love it here, folks. Look at where we live. Okay, so if you look off to the right there, that is Lassen Peak. Oh, wow. And way off in the distance, there's Mount Shasta. Two of our beauties right here in Northern California, right there. And oh man, look at that snow. Gosh, that's just, I could look at that all day. Thank you, Dan, for just that beautiful shot this morning. Gotta love it. Oh, again, I could look at that all day. By the way, if you want to share your photos, share them from the free Weather NorCal app. All you got to do is download it for free today, and you can share your photos. And of course, there's a lot more that you can do from the app. Check it out. It's a hyper-local app. You know, there are so many different weather apps out there, but you know what's beautiful about the Weather NorCal app? It's manned by me. I'm the one that puts the forecast out there. I generate a forecast. That forecast then goes out to the app, for the most part, right? But it's awesome. It's super hyper-local. So awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, check it out. So I can share your photos as well. Hey, before we get to our deeper dive forecast, I'm going to check in with some of you. I did notice someone had mentioned, did you hear Bidwell Mansion burn this morning? Yes, heartbreaking. I mean, an iconic piece of history there in Chico. Heard that it burned down. Based on some of the images I've seen, doesn't look good, folks. We'll see once we start getting, some of the daylight, and we'll be able to really kind of get some better images here. But that is sad. Thank you, Grace, for kind of reminding me about that. We have got Joey. Joey is saying here, postponing a trip to Arizona because of your weather forecast, heading back up to Old Station to ride it out till after Christmas. Well, okay. Yeah, I mean, if you don't feel safe driving on those roads, I always recommend just not doing it because, again, we don't want anybody getting hurt out there. We have got Deborah Ann from Etna saying 22 degrees. And we have got Kimberly saying, oh my, slower moving storm on Saturday will surely make a difference. It does. When those storms slow down, you can certainly see a lot more rain. And there you go. We've got, yeah, this is good, Kimberly, especially if you live in the mountains. Good to have this, the studded tires, so we don't have to drive in the snow. I really need chains. Oh, I only have studded tires, so I don't drive in the snow. Ah, well, I mean, studded tires help, though. That's always nice. Let's see what else we got here. I think that's it. You know what? Yeah. It's going to be a long forecast, folks, so let's get right to it, shall we? As you know, we have sponsors here at Weather NorCal. So Wind River is really, since day one, has been the primary sponsor of Coffee with Krueger. So I want to thank them for their support. At Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. Once again, thank you to Wind River for their support. All right, so I think I'm starting with the current temperatures, but keep in mind these are not accurate. These are from yesterday morning. I didn't get a chance to update them this morning. This is more like, because we have added cloud cover, but this is kind of a good story to tell here, right? Because when we had the clear skies, it was in the teens and low 20s in the eastern mountains. Now we're in the mid to upper 20s and even low 30s for many of the higher elevations off to the east because we have the added cloud cover. That adds to help blanket us a little bit. So that's why it's not quite as cold as it was yesterday morning. This updated as well as this. So we are in the low to mid 30s in the valley right now. Along the coast, that also updated automatically. But of course, some of these other temperatures, Mount Shasta also updated automatically at about 42 degrees right now. So it's a chilly start, but certainly not for most of us as cold as it was yesterday morning. All right, so here's what I'm watching. I showed you this at the very top of the show. We got off and on rain, moderate to heavy at times. We got periods of heavy snow off and on through early next week, if not longer. and gusty winds for some of us. I think the coast in particular and central Siskiyou County around Shasta Valley are going to see some gusty winds. Now, other areas are going to be looking at some gusty winds at times as well, including the valley. So we look at that timeline. Minor impact today. Not a big deal. You'll just notice the clouds moving in. A little gusty later this afternoon for Shasta Valley and, of course, along the coast. But the heaviest rainfall for Thursday, really the heaviest rain and snow, will be tonight and tomorrow morning with possible I-5 delays. Now, I've got the minor impact because, again, the main event is for at least the first storm is tonight and early tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, just scattered showers, scattered snow flurries. So I've got minor impact in there because once we get past early tomorrow morning, we should be able to recover quite nicely. On Friday, I've got a moderate impact. And the reason for that is because the rain and snow will be heavy at times with potential for more I-5 delays. Now, the reason why I've got the high impact on Saturday is because the storm system moving through that will impact us on Friday is going to be a slow mover. So as it moves through Friday night into Saturday, it's slowly moving, and that's why I do expect heavier rain, heavier snow in the mountains on Saturday, and that could have some bigger impacts on I-5. All right. And then, of course, by Sunday, it's gone. We're done with it for now. And I think especially looking at mainly dry conditions on Sunday, there could be a few scattered showers or flurries in the mountains, but it doesn't look like Sunday will be a very active day, and we'll get a bit of a break before more weather comes in, Monday of next week. So what we saw here is this right here, this batch of clouds that moved in. The disturbance is pretty much weakened. You can see some of the showers that are just beginning to develop north and west of the coast, but this is the main storm system coming in later this evening and tonight. And then really, you look down the pike here, lots of activity. Now, some might argue, and I'm just going to say this for the sake of, you might start seeing it on social media, and I'm not going to really talk about it a whole lot, but some might argue that we have a bit of an atmospheric river with this. Atmospheric rivers, especially strong ones, those are the what we saw a couple of weeks ago, where it goes over Northern California. It was pointed out at us for like 2-3 straight days, right? And that's why we saw that steady rain, flooding, lots of snow, especially the first part of the event, because it was just steady, right? It was just constantly raining. That's not the case with this. It's tapping into moisture from an atmospheric river, but the atmospheric river per se is not going to be pointed right at us. So you've got all these disturbances, these storm systems, which are spinning, right? And they're heading our way. As we get that rotation, it taps into that moisture flow, and it brings that moisture over Northern California in the form of rain and snow. But it's not going to be days of steady rainfall. So we just really need to make that clear, because that's why there's going to be less potential for flooding. And, but keep in mind, sometimes during these heavier downpours, especially after we've seen a lot of rainfall, even after that recovery, sometimes we can get some flash flooding or some minor flooding. But I'm not as concerned about it as if I would be more concerned, let's just put it that way, if we were looking at more of an atmospheric river event, but we're not. All right, so here you can see a winter weather advisory for the areas in purple. We're going to see the winter alerts change every single day. So honestly, I typically don't talk about them a lot, because bottom line, I talk about all the snow that's heading our way, and you know what to expect here. But here's what's going on. We take a look at Futurecast, 6 a.m. this morning. All right, so you just got the clouds, right? Taking to the noon hour, 3 o'clock this afternoon, we're just beginning to see some light rain making its way to the north coast, but everyone else still fairly dry. Then we go to about 5 p.m. Now it's a moderate rainfall. Snow beginning to impact, looks like maybe Scott Mountain. Mount Shasta on I-5, probably still in the form of rain. The colder air still has to kind of move in. There, of course, we're seeing the rain over Trinity County, maybe a sprinkle or two for parts of the valley, but still dry off to the east. That's at 5 p.m. today. By 10 o'clock tonight, now it's pushing through. All right, so again, we take a look at Highway 36. Let's see if we can see Buckhorn Summit. There's Buckhorn Summit. Looks like we're seeing a little bit of snow, rain-snow mix. I-5, 10 o'clock tonight. Look at that snow. And we're seeing darker shades of blue. That is heavier snow that's moving in as opposed to the lighter shades of blue, right? So yeah, some heavy snow at times around Mount Shasta City and on I-5. And of course, east of I-5, plenty of that. And let's not forget the valley, seeing the rain. And yes, to answer your question, or no to answer your question, we're not going to see snow in the valley. I'm not seeing that. A lot of people say, "Oh, you're talking about snow in the mountains. What about the valley?" Well, no, of course not. If I don't mention snow for the valley, that means it's not on my radar. I'm not seeing it happen. If there's going to be snow, if I'm expecting snow or at least see that potential, I'll talk about it. Oh, trust me, I will. But if I don't usually talk about it, that just means it's not, you don't have to worry about it. All right, so there you can see, of course, not much going on even at 10 o'clock tonight. Then as we go into the early morning hours, now we're seeing that heavier snow off to the east. Plenty of chain requirements, there's no doubt. This is where these mountain passes east of I-5 is where we have the higher mountain passes. So that's typically where we see most of the chain requirements. But there you can see Highway 36 seeing some potential. Highway 299 is a lot of times very iffy as far as when we're talking chain requirements. So bottom line, you need to check those chain requirements if you're traveling tonight or tomorrow morning, anywhere you're going, anywhere, folks. I don't care if you think it's not going to be snow up there. Please check the road conditions before heading out. Then we go into noon on Thursday. We're starting to see things begin to dry out. Now there's another little batch of moisture here that's going to kind of push on through, giving us some more scattered showers, but nothing major. We could see some more snow possibly, but since we're going to be able to recover and it's not going to be terribly heavy, it shouldn't be too bad as far as delays on I-5 near Mount Shasta. But again, you need to check those road conditions through the day on Thursday. By Thursday night, it's done with for the most part, but then storm number 2 is knocking on our door. You can see 6 a.m. on Friday. There's that batch of rain. Still fairly dry for everyone else on Friday morning. But by Friday noon, look what's happening. You got noon, we're seeing the rain kick in. Now, you'll notice here's the main cold front. Here's the main flow. This is going to take its own sweet time pushing this out. In fact, you see what's happening? It kind of stalls out a little bit, and we see it kind of tilt. So it tilts in this direction. As a result, we see drier conditions here, and then we start to see a little bit more rain and snow off to the north of the valley. But eventually, by Friday night through Saturday, this will all push eastward, and that's what we're looking at here. All right, so this is the short-range model. We're going to take a look at the long-range model here in a bit, but just from the short-range perspective through Friday evening, we're going to take a look at some stats here, or some forecast totals. So starting off with the rain, I think we can see about a half an inch to an inch in the valley through Friday, right? And then, of course, for the coast, we can see upwards of 2 inches or more. When we're talking snow, let's get you into the snow here. This is the short-range forecast model. We could see 4 to 8 inches of snow from Mount Shasta. Now, for some reason, Dunsmuir, which is a lower elevation than Mount Shasta, this model tends to pick up on the same amount of snow as Mount Shasta. I'm going to see if I can adjust the location of where that's taken that measurement, but I don't anticipate to see as much snow for Dunsmuir. But I think Dunsmuir could possibly see some snow out of this. Bernie, there's a potential for you to see some snow too, 2 to 4 inches of snow, and even some lighter accumulations out towards Alturas. All right, towards Weaverville, it is showing less than an inch. Could we see a mix? Sure, it's not out of the question. You're getting around 2,000 feet at this point. That's fairly low. So I don't anticipate the snow levels to get quite that low, but I'll certainly be watching it. And of course, Chester at 4,500 feet, you could easily see 4 to 8 inches of snow. And how about the ski park? As you know, today's opening day of the ski park, right? And through Thursday, so through tomorrow evening, could pick up another foot of snow, even at the base of the ski park. And then maybe close to another foot of snow on top of that. So close to 2 feet of snow in a matter of 2 days for the ski park. What a great way to open up the park, right? More and more snow on the ski park. Take a look at the ski report here in Mount Shasta Ski Park opening up today. At the summit, it's got 48 inches of snow. There you can see some of the other ski parks that are out there, especially around the Tahoe region. Yeah, looks like we're in good shape out at Mount Shasta Ski Park. All right, so here's the big picture. Now we're looking at the long-range forecast model beyond Friday. Here's the storm system coming in tonight. Look at the big break between the two. Even though this is going to be a slow mover, it's going to move pretty rapidly closer to us over the next few days. So that's the one we looked at with Futurecast here just a second ago. So we're not going to really stop with that. That'll just kind of move through tonight, right? There's that area of low pressure. So you see what's happening. We've got the cold front right here, and it's just slowly pushing on through Friday night, and Saturday. This is when I expect to see more rain and more snow in the higher elevations. Now, this is going to be, I think, the biggest impact will be on Friday night and Saturday. That pushes out. Sunday, we have a bit of a ridge of high pressure building in. I think we'll see a break on, if we see a break at all, at this point it looks like to be on Sunday. This one, that's coming in on Monday. So yeah, we've got more rain in the forecast Monday. Now it looks like after Monday, high pressure is going to settle in because this approaching storm system that's coming in behind it, it's going to weaken. And then of course, you see that? See how it goes into Wednesday of next week? It hits the ridge of high pressure. So there is a potential though, as we get towards the end of next week, that some of this energy could push through and bring us more rain toward the end of next week. But you get the idea, this weather pattern is going to stick around for a while. Again, now we're looking at the estimates from the long range, which tends to sometimes overdo it, but I think it's actually doing a pretty good job here. Through at least Monday, I think we could see upwards of 2 to maybe 3 inches of rain for the valley, and I think we could even exceed 4 inches for parts of the coast as well. Snow, once again, it does not do a good job on snow levels, and that's why I don't have totals for some of the areas that you're seeing snow, because that's just a false indication of where that snow will be. But through Friday, 5 p.m., we were talking about that 9 inches of snow. Let's kind of advance it through time and go on to Saturday. Now we're talking 30 inches of snow towards Mount Shasta. Bernie, I should have put a total there because I do think Bernie will see some of that snow, but maybe half of what you'd see at Mount Shasta, for example. But, you could pick up maybe, 6 to 12 inches once all is said and done through Sunday night. We go into Tuesday, there you can see close to 40 inches of snow. But again, keep in mind, you look at the 40 inches of snow, you're like, wow, that's a lot. It's accumulating after 4 to 5 days of snow. Okay, so it's not just 12 to 24 hour period that we saw with that atmospheric river a couple weeks ago, right? That's not the case here with this. We're getting some recovery. The winds are something we need to talk about too. There's a wind advisory for tonight for Shasta Valley, central Siskiyou County. You can see gusts over 40 miles per hour, 50 miles per hour. And look at the winds right now. They're not a problem, but they will be picking up here for Shasta Valley later on this afternoon. There's the noon hour. See how they're picking up? Let's take you into the afternoon. Still pretty strong. Gusts are picking up for the coast, by the way. By 11 o'clock tonight, look at the winds out towards, now you're looking, those reds, that's 50 mile an hour plus. We're getting there. Still pretty gusty for the coast, but it looks like by Thursday, even for Shasta Valley, the winds should die down. Unfortunately, it looks like by the time we get to Friday, another strong wind event. Could see 30, even 40 miles per hour along the coast, over 50 miles per hour for central Siskiyou County. A little breezy for the valley, East Mountains, but certainly not the event that we're seeing here off to the north and west. So keep in mind, the winds may be strong. Some of these winds are borderline getting into that power outage possibility as well. So something worth watching here as we get towards the end of the week. Still have a beach hazard statement until noon today. As we look at the wave heights later on today, they are starting to increase. They'll increase even more, though, by tonight and tomorrow, as you can clearly see that as it starts approaching the coast. So we look at the marine forecast for today. You can see I've got the small craft advisory in there. That won't take effect until this afternoon because we're progressively seeing those winds pick up and we're progressively seeing those wave heights begin to increase as well. So for today, here's what we've got. Now, I'm not going to talk about the timing. It would take me 20 minutes just to go through all of these fly-throughs here and talking about the 7-day forecast. We went through the timing here through the forecast. Now this is just an illustration of how pretty much every single day we've got a chance for rain and snow. But on average, Trinity County, 3,000, 3,500 foot snow levels. All right, so bear that in mind. Wherever you live in Trinity County, that's where you could be seeing snow. If you're at 3,000 feet or higher, I think you've got the best chances for snow. Below 3,000 feet, slimmer chances. Could we see a mix at the very least for Weaverville, Hayfork? Sure. We've seen that happen before when we're forecasting 3,000 foot snow levels. It can happen. Mother Nature always has a way of surprising us. There's the North Coast, 57 degrees for Redway, 58 degrees for Garberville, off and on rain, gusty winds along the coast at times, 58 degrees in Ferndale, Rio Dell, about 55, 58 degrees for a high today in McKinleyville. There you can see Willow Creek about 56, as well as Hoopa up north. Those temperatures in the 50s for those daytime highs. Orleans about 56. Let's take you out to Siskiyou County. On average, your snow levels will be about 3,500 feet. Give or take for the next 7 days. That's essentially what we're looking at here. There you can see around 50 for Highway 96, I-5, temperatures in the low to mid 40s. For Scott Valley, we got 44 degrees out in Fort Jones, 43 for Greenview, and looks like Callahan about 45 degrees. Here's central and eastern Siskiyou County. We've got Weed at about 41, Mount Shasta City about 43. Look at those daytime highs. This helps to support snow. Right here, we're looking at temperatures like this. So yeah, very good possibility that Mount Shasta is going to see snow through those days, even into Monday of next week. Some fairly low snow levels still continuing with that colder air in place. Here's a look at Modoc County neighborhood forecast. Temperatures mainly in the low to mid 40s today. Eastern Mountains, 50 for Montgomery Creek, 49 for Shingletown, 47 in Viola. There's Paynes Creek, about 53. Look at the snow levels for Bernie, on average around 3,500 feet. Bernie, you are at 3,000 feet. You're at it took me a second there. About 3,000 foot level there. So Bernie, you know, when we got 3,500 foot snow levels, you know, you can typically see snow when we're seeing that, forecasted snow level. It can sometimes drop below that. All right, there's a look at Lake Almanor, Lassen Park. There, of course, we're looking at temperatures in the 40s for the most part around the perimeter of the lake here for today. To the south, Paradise, 54 degrees, 46 for Greenville, 44 for Janesville, Susanville, about 42 degrees. In your Valley neighborhood forecast, brought to you by our friends at Walgamith Painting. Your temperatures are going to be somewhere in the mid-50s for your daytime highs today. It is cooling off for the Valley. Not quite as warm as it has been the last few days. We're only dropping by a few degrees here, but still, it's starting to cool off a little bit. 55 degrees for the city of Shasta Lake, all the way down to Cottonwood, 53 for Lakehead, and 52 degrees in Whiskeytown. All right, let's take a look at your 7-day outlook for Redding. Yeah, so tonight the rain kicks in. Now, there could be some sprinkles, a light shower later on this afternoon or evening, but again, the bulk of any rain is going to be tonight and into early tomorrow morning. Now, you see Thursday, we're looking at some scattered showers throughout the day, but the heaviest for the first storm will be tonight, early tomorrow morning. And then, of course, we get a decent storm coming in for Friday and Saturday. That one is going to take longer to push through. So I think for Friday, Saturday time frame, that's when I expect to see the heaviest amount of snow and the heaviest amount of rainfall as well. I think we'll see a bit of a break if we see a break, it will be on Sunday, but some of the models still indicating that we could be looking at some leftover energy on Sunday, but overall fairly dry on Sunday. And then it looks like by Monday that is, another chance for some rain, more showers that is, and then maybe a chance lingering into Tuesday. But I think Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, it looks fairly dry. All right. Let's see if anybody's kind of chimed in. Since I've been kind of at the wall, I can't necessarily check what's going on out there. All right, so this is the time now I want you to start asking questions. If you watch the forecast, you still got a couple of questions, feel free to chime in here on the chat. I'm at least able to check in on Facebook and looks like on YouTube as well. So if you have a question, you're concerned about maybe you're traveling somewhere or whatnot, let's talk about it, okay? So Chrissy Bentley, let's see here, there we go. Let's get Chrissy on the screen here. She's saying, I'm concerned about snow and ice, Shingletown, 4,000 feet to work in Redding. At 4,000 feet, I would be. So yes, bottom line, Chrissy, starting tonight through the rest of the week and this weekend, just know the road conditions. And I would say that at that elevation, you're going to run into some snow. And I think even central Shingletown at 3,500 feet could see some snow too. That's not out of the question. You start getting below that though, say around 3,000 feet or so, the chances do begin to diminish. But Chrissy, I would definitely advise you to just stay alert of what's going on with that. And again, Chrissy, I want to remind everybody else too that you can go to my website and check out the latest. All right. Okay, so Chappie is kind of chiming in here this morning. She's saying, my main concern is travel between Alturas and Redding, family coming down the middle of next week. Middle of next week. I think they'll be okay. The thing is, the long range for now, it looks like it'll be clear. I mean, you're going to have probably some slick spots because, we're going to go through a week here of off and on snow up in that area. But I'd say your family's going to be okay. If they're coming down around Tuesday, Wednesday, I think they'll be fine. And probably even Thursday of next week. We'll see. We'll see what those storm systems way off to the west late next week do. But for now, I'd say mid next week, I think you're good. We have got Debbie Castro saying, my son is so excited to come ski. Yes. Oh yeah, so is my son. He's getting everything ready. They are going to be tuning their snowboards for Alpine on Thursday, tomorrow. He's very excited about that. I've got a set of skis, which I just discovered. My brother-in-law gave me a pair of skis for free. As I tried to, adjust them to my new boots that I bought for the skis. I think one of the bindings is broken. So yeah, I got to go probably to Sports LTD or something and see if they can hook me up with some new bindings. Because I know Aiden and I would like to go skiing / snowboarding sometime this weekend. I'm thinking no on Saturday because Saturday is going to be a big travel headache. I don't want to be a part of that. But Sunday, I think Sunday will be a good day for it. You know, I think of a skit from a show that I love, and they were on a golf course. And he was saying, "Oh, look, it's the weatherman on the golf course. You know, you said it was going to rain today. I think you lied about rain so you can have a clear path for golfing. But I don't do that." So I thought that was kind of funny. Kind of a funny show that it's not on the air anymore. We've got Kimberly saying, "Good to know that the weather will hold off early today." Yeah. Oh, you're good. If you have, even on the coast, you'll be fine through at least midday. Then through the afternoon for the coast, you got showers kicking in. For the valley, you're gonna have to wait until late afternoon, probably closer to the evening tonight and early tomorrow morning before you really start seeing some of the heavier rainfall. All right. Any other questions? I do want to address any questions that some of you may have. Because yeah, I mean, this is now is the time. This is the beauty of what I do here, folks, because you are able to, when you're watching the forecast anywhere else, can you ask the weatherman questions while he's giving the forecast? No, you can't hear though. Now, obviously, when I'm up at the green screen, I can't do that, but I can come back if you have any questions that you kind of get going through there. So yeah, ask away. But yeah, stay tuned, folks, because we've got a lot going on. Today, again, as I mentioned, is the transition day. So without further delay, what do you say we wrap up the show? Have yourselves a great day. And I do think that we're going to be talking around this time tomorrow, chain requirements on I-5, the works. So be prepared. Make sure you got chains if you have to travel. Make sure that you got all the leaves out of the gutters. If you haven't done so before that atmospheric river, you probably had some problems before then. But just do your prep work before the storms come, because you won't have time, or you won't be able to really do much with it once it does arrive. So thanks again so much for watching, and thank you all so much for chiming in and getting active and all that good stuff. Goodbye to you, Kimberly. Thank you, and have yourselves a great day. We'll leave you with some cameras here.